Let's talk about DNA. We tend to think of it as this fixed blueprint, right? A set of instructions we're just stuck with. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the story of your DNA is one you can actually help write? Let's dive in.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? We look at our family history, maybe we get one of those genetic tests, and we wonder, is it all laid out for me? Am I just playing out a script that was written in my cells the day I was born? For a long, long time, it really seemed like the answer was yep. But oh, science is now showing us a picture that is so much more exciting.
So to really get this new picture, we have to start with the basics. The classic way of thinking about genetics is with this really useful metaphor of a blueprint for a building. It's got all the core instructions for how to build you and how to operate you. And that starts with two key ideas. Okay, first up, you have your genotype. This is your complete set of genes, the specific versions called alleles that you inherited from your parents. Just think of it as the architect's super detailed plans. Every single instruction, every little specification for the building, it's all written down right here. It's the code. It is the blueprint.
So, if the genotype is the blueprint, then the phenotype is the actual finished building. It's everything you can see and measure. Your hair color, your height, your blood type, all those observable traits. So genotype is the plan, phenotype is the final product. Simple enough, right? Well, this classic example, you probably remember it from biology class, with Gregor Mendel's pea plants. It shows this relationship perfectly. Look at this table. If a plant's genotype has even one of those dominant capital A alleles, its phenotype, what you see, is a purple flower. The only way you get a white flower is if the genotype has two of those recessive lowercase a alleles. It's a very direct, straight line from the blueprint to the building. And for a long time, this was pretty much our main way of understanding how genetics work. But as you probably guessed, it's not always quite so simple. It turns out that blueprint has a whole lot of fine print. Kind of like a set of director's notes that we've only just started to really understand. And that leads us to a really critical question. If the genes that code for all the parts are the main blueprint, what about all the rest of our DNA? Is the blueprint all there is, or have we been missing a huge part of the instruction manual? You know, for years, scientists literally called the vast stretches of our DNA that don't contain genes junk DNA. Can you believe that? We now know it's anything but junk. This non-coding DNA is absolutely essential. It doesn't build the protein parts of the building, no, but it tells the construction crew when to build, where to build, and how much to build. It's the management. Think of this non-coding DNA like a film director's note scribbled all over the script. You've got promoters that act like a green light, basically yelling action to turn genes on. You've got enhancers that help them go, maybe turning the volume up. Then you've got silencers that hit the brakes, shouting cut to turn genes off. And insulators are there to organize the whole set, shaping how all the gene activity happens. It's the entire regulatory system. And this isn't just some abstract idea. A tiny change or variant in one of these regulatory areas can have just as big of an impact as a change in a gene itself. It can cause a gene to switch on at totally the wrong time or in the wrong part of the body, and that can lead to developmental problems or diseases. The fine print, it really, really matters.
Okay, so we've got the blueprint and we've got the director's notes, but there's one more massive player in this whole story, and it's everything outside your cells. It's the environment. And this is where things get really personal.
And this brings us to the amazing field of epigenetics. This quote nails it. Epigenetics is the bridge. It connects our fixed genes to our flexible, changing lives. It's the mechanism that explains how the world around us, what we eat, what we breathe, how we feel, gets under our skin and actually changes how our genes work.
The best way to think about it is like this. Your DNA sequence, your genotype, that's the permanent blueprint, written in ink. It's not changing. But the epigenome is like a set of chemical marks. Think of them as pencil notes, written on top of that blueprint. These notes don't change the blueprint itself. They don't change the ink, but they completely change how it's read. And the amazing part, unlike ink, these pencil marks can be added and they can be erased.
So who's holding the pencil? Well, we are. Our lives are. The food we eat, the air we breathe, our stress levels, our exercise habits, all of these things can add or remove these epigenetic marks, essentially telling a gene to be quiet or to speak up. This is the direct link between our lifestyle choices and our gene expression. It's happening right now.
So when you put all this together, you've got the blueprint, the director's notes, and now these environmental pencil marks, you get to a really stunning conclusion.
One single blueprint can end up building many, many different kinds of buildings. And this incredible phenomenon has a name: phenotypic plasticity. It sounds technical, but it just means that a single genotype, one set of genes, has the capacity to produce a whole range of different phenotypes or traits simply by being in different environments. This flexibility isn't a bug, it's one of the most important features of life. I mean, just look at this picture. It's amazing. These two plants are genetically identical, clones. They have the exact same blueprint. The only difference between them is their environment. The one on the left was grown with plenty of light, and look at it, it's thriving. The one on the right was grown in low light, and it looks like a completely different plant. It's smaller, struggling, different leaves, same genotype, two totally different phenotypes. And this isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. Phenotypic plasticity is what allows a species to succeed in a huge variety of different places. Instead of needing a whole new genetic blueprint for every possible situation, it has one super adaptable blueprint that can build the right kind of organism for whatever life throws at it. It's a massive evolutionary advantage. So, we've gone from pea plants to these two different plants in the lab. But what does any of this mean for us, for our health, for our lives? Well, what it all means is that our health is a story that's co-written by our genes and our environment. Understanding this helps us understand our genetic risks without seeing them as some kind of unavoidable fate. It empowers us by showing that our lifestyle choices, the food we eat, how much we move, how we manage stress, those choices are literally writing those epigenetic pencil marks on our genes every single day. This is the future of medicine, personalized treatments that consider both our genes and our lives. Bottom line, our genes are not our destiny. In the end, your DNA is like the first draft of a story. It sets the scene, it suggests the plot. But the director's notes, those environmental edits, and your own choices, they all have a profound impact on the final cut. Your genes are a huge part of your story, but they are not the whole story. So the real question this leaves us with is, how will you influence the ending?